Alright, so since I'm not really doing anything in Space Engineers anymore for the near future, which may be forever, but who knows, I should publish this thing. I built it over a year ago. I'm not sure why I haven't published it yet, but yeah, it's probably my best work in Space Engineers in terms of looks. Functionally, it's kinda useless. And they have a lot of variations, or not variations, versions of it in this world from the beginning to the end. As you can see, that's a lot. I probably spent like 50 hours total on it. Maybe less, maybe more, I'm not sure. Don't remember. It was over a year ago. No, not over a year, under a year. Almost a year. Anyway, let's see. What can I... let's just start from the beginning, because even I forgot what I made. So, of course, starting with the core, slowly adding stuff. A good way that is, what should you call it, efficient, I guess, to do this stuff is, of course, no conveyors ideally, and then cargo containers in the middle, so even if you're loaded with cargo, your center of mass is, well, in the center, or all of your heavier stuff in the center, and surrounded with components, which also serve as protection for the cargo. Then propulsion systems, I probably shouldn't have added the tanks like this, because while it will guarantee the connection to the thrusters, if this tank gets blown up, also the entire section just shuts down. Adding more stuff, then some railguns. Like usually for a combat ship, you would have the railguns in the front and then hide everything behind it. What's the difference between this and this? I think I started adding some stuff in the back, planning for the interior. Yeah. Yep, adding more stuff, as you can see, using functional components instead of just conveyors. But honestly, the whole conveyor, PC optimization stuff, and I don't know, it's really hard to make a balanced ship in Space Engineers. You either make something that's completely useless and aesthetical, or you make a meta ship, and I guess you can balance, but the best option is just to play another game. Yeah, so then there was more planning towards blah blah blah. Gyroscope, what else? Planning. Yeah, some more interior. It got changed a lot, so alright. And let's see. Oh yeah, I think this was a bad attempt, so I reverted and started again. And planning. And then I did what I did before and surrounded fully in blocks. That was my method for the CHI lineup of ships. I surrounded them with blocks and then slowly changed the blocks into more funky versions. So I tried doing it with this, but then I thought like, maybe not. Plus with the selection of blocks, because I also tried doing this without DLC. As you can see, there's a bunch of DLC blocks here for the Gribble. And I was like, let's try something else, and reverted. So then armor on the front. For some reason, armor everywhere else. I think I reverted the decision, so tried doing this simple design with balls. Then landing pads, I realize kinda crap, because thrusters just burn through them. So you probably like landing pad in this game are useless. You will just destroy them with thrusters. It's much better to attach stuff to the side. Yeah, simplistic design. A cheese wheel at the front. Let's see. More iterations. Planning interior. Surrounded with this simple shape, which is very boring. Then I tried maybe doing panels instead of round stuff. What else? What's the next iteration? Some walkways, I think. Oh yeah, walkways to have everything accessible without the jetpack. Alright, where's the change where I stripped all of that out and tried again? Let's see. Oh, there it is. The cheese wheel is still there, but I also added some blast doors instead. Did you know that blast doors have a resistance to explosions, like from tanks? Like, a tank exploding damages them by like 10%, while a heavy armor blocks just gets destroyed. And yeah, instead of just armor panels, I replaced them with walkways. Just instead of basic armor, use stuff that has more detail. That's my advice. More funky block options. Also, I made sure that all the gaps are covered, because there's quite a lot of gaps between the blocks, so you just kinda have to add these edges for it to look airtight, actually. The frame rate is not very good. Right, yep, interior, which is very simple. Let's see what else. Did I strip out? I think I stripped out the walkways for a bit. Let's see, where do I add them again? What are even the changes between these versions? Oh, I think I see them. Oh, right. here I increase the amount of thrust and the amount of frontal armor on the railguns, which is, I guess it's useful, but it's like the thrusters will just explode. And the problem with very detailed builds is that they are useless in combat because like, you get hit, you have a lot of parts just flying around and shredding the inside of your ship, which was the result of the combat tests. Alright, I increased the landing pad and made it more funky shaped. Let's see. Oh, I think here I did the walkways. No DLCs, by the way. And as you can see, I pretty much didn't use armor blocks at this stage. Like, there's panels and then there's a bunch of other blocks. But yeah, I think I did it so literally everything can be accessed by foot in terms of functional stuff. Then because it looked kinda naked. Yeah, there we go. And just boring. I also like panels. Why not? Try them like this. They're a bit too samey, but the concept works. Then I added maybe some details to them, gray stuff. Then I thought, wait, what else did I add? Oh yeah, some more funky stuff, like these frames for the thrusters. Then I was like, I can do better. So I stripped it all out, reformed the thruster frames, and then I thought like, okay, let's do what I did before, but more organic this time, and pretty much just slapped a bunch of blocks in a way that looks nice, and then I shaped them and added some more gribble. There's probably a little bit too much rebar sticking out of it. As a result, it looks a little bit hairy. And yeah, that's it, pretty much. So the result is a lot of CPU is wasted on all of the funky blocks because, like, let's see, 6,500 blocks. So much PCU, CPU, whatever. So if you're making, I guess even if it's, I guess it's fine to make a vessel that is in some ways efficient and in some ways funky looking. It's not going to be good in PvP, but PvP sucks anyway. But also there's no PvE combat in this game, so mods don't count. And even with mods, it's kinda crap. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of blocks, no DLCs, and only 2 colors. By the way, only 2 colors, and I didn't even color it manually. So there's a color assigned to a type of block. So that pretty much just skips the coloring process, which I find quite boring to do coloring, so making it like that is quite a nice life hack, let's say. I think it looks quite neat. Like if you look at the previous generation of ships, they are kind of single layered. They may be gribbled, but it's only a single layer, so there's no volume. Let's see. I think I didn't actually clean up the control panel, which I'm also not going to do. Yeah, it's not sorted yet. I'll just reset the names for now, and that's it. That's all you get. Actually, maybe I shouldn't reset the names. Whatever, I'll just leave it on the default. Yeah, let's actually walk around it. And also let's just move away so the game doesn't just lag like crazy. There, much better. Alright, so, oh yeah, by the way, another design. The front is kinda, let's say, a little bit armored for combat, so you can't really have anything on it, like a drill or something. So, connector at the back, and then there's a backwards facing cockpit for non-combat purposes. That is both a funky and a practical solution. Of course, there's a ladder to get up if you're landed from the ground without using a jetpack. Alright, let's get inside. The interior is very bare bones. There's not much decorations without the DLC. But also I could have put like some pillars probably. The ship is, let's say, finished. Good enough. What else? There's some floors and yeah, empty rooms and blah blah blah. You know who it is. No non-DLC decorations. Let's go up. The way I would do DLCs for stuff is all of the blocks should be in the base game, but DLCs should provide different skins for them and make it in a way that if you place the blueprint and you don't have the DLCs, the skins, whatever, of them get replaced with the default versions. So that way, even if you don't have the DLC, you can paste anything. And also you don't lose out on functionality, because really this game is just a almost abandoned ware that is just used to sell DLCs at this point. There's no actual gameplay. Like, you can mod it, but then still functionality is pretty bad. The performance is pretty bad, server performance is horrible. As alternatives, I guess Imperium is decent, it has a better building system, but also it's also kinda abandoned ware, and also it kinda has the vibe. Well, not really a vibe. It is kinda an asset, a Unity store asset flip, pretty much. It has decent gameplay, especially with a mod that literally everyone plays, that reworks the whole game, but the developers pretty much abandoned it, and they're also starting to release DLCs. Luckily for now, it's not blocks. It's just scenarios, which don't really affect the amount of stuff you can do in the base game. But still, you probably should focus on making the game better and getting new customers instead of selling slop to the existing ones. And even then, purely cosmetic stuff, like Astroneer, pretty good game. It has an in-game store, but it only sells like cosmetic character customization. All the functionality is in the game, in the vanilla version. So that way you can both get more money, but also don't be annoying to your player base by releasing almost must-have DLCs all the time. Oh yeah, I guess I might as well show this thing. It was built after it, so it's a more practical version of this ship with no DLCs again. I still, like, on a meta ship you would hide these thrusters behind the armor, but I didn't want to do it. But yeah, a lot more of the ship is hidden behind the frontal armor. What else? Oh yeah, I also like to include functionality for playing without the third-person camera, and also having a turret is useful for zooming on the asteroids. If you are prospecting asteroids, a much more time-efficient way to find ores on them, instead of flying to each asteroid and checking it with an ore detector, you should just jump 5 or 10 or something kilometers. Depends on your, I guess, render range, and then zoom in with the turret on the asteroids. And if you see something that looks like an ore deposit of stuff that you need, then go to it. So you won't detect every ore deposit on every asteroid, but you can compensate for detection rate with the amount of asteroids you can check per amount of time. So overall it's more efficient. Plus, that way every deposit that you find will be on the surface and not inside the asteroid. Saves you time, I guess. I did a little bit more with the interior here, I guess. But still, holy hell, the selection of blocks without DLCs is atrocious. Any other promising space games? Well, as I said, Empyrean is decent, but it's... If you can deal with the junkiness of it, then sure. But something more polished, I'm not sure. Well, Starship Evo seems to be going well in the development, but it's still just a sandbox mode game for now. Not really any survival in it. But well, at least there's no DLCs and there's a lot bigger choice of what you can do in it. Anyway, I think that's it. The lesson of this video is my ship is cool and you should uninstall Space Engineers. Bye bye.